All right, today we're diving into this incredible story about art, pure serendipity, and what happens when you listen to that little voice in your head. It's a story about a connection that feels almost cosmic, but you know what? It all started with something as simple as a flyer. And that quote? It's from the artist at the heart of our story, Jimmy Wesley Jr. It just perfectly sets the stage for what happened when he decided to follow this unexplainable gut feeling. A decision that, as you'll see, led to a meeting that was absolutely meant to be. So let's start at the beginning. Section 1, an unexpected sign. This is where it all kicks off with a random flyer that sparks something, well, something powerful. So picture this. Jimmy already has one of his own amazing pieces on display at Savannah's Telfair Museum. And while he's there, he just happens to spot a notice for an upcoming talk by an artist he's actually never heard of before. Nari Ward. But here's the thing, it wasn't the name that grabbed his attention, it was the photo. In it, Nari Ward is wearing this silver Ankh pendant, and it's just like one Jimmy wears himself. It's a tiny detail, right? But it was just enough to plant that little seed of curiosity. Now, just for some context, Nari Ward is a huge deal in the art world. I mean, this is an artist famous for taking everyday things people throw out in his Harlem neighborhood, like baby strollers, shopping carts, you name it, and turning them into these really profound statements about race, poverty, and our culture. So for an artist like Jimmy, this was a pretty big opportunity. Okay, so section 2, a mysterious nudge. That first little spark of curiosity over the Ankh symbol, well, it started to grow into something much, much stronger, a feeling that Jimmy just couldn't ignore. You can just imagine the internal tug-of-war he was feeling. The day of the lecture was his only day off, and he was completely wiped out from work. A big part of him just wanted to stay home, but there was this something that kept nagging him, telling him, you need to go. And in the end, he decided to trust that voice. He had no idea why he needed to be there, but he couldn't shake this powerful feeling that some kind of purpose was waiting for him at that lecture. So that brings us to section 3, the meant-to-be meeting. He gets to the lecture, and the reason for that powerful gut feeling starts to reveal itself, just not at all in the way he thought it would. Jimmy's listening, and then all of a sudden, his ears perk up. Ward starts talking about how he was inspired by an ancient Adinker symbol he'd found in one of Savannah's historic Black churches. This just hit home for Jimmy, because it connected to his own idea that these ancient symbols kind of flow through Black artists' work, like it's in their DNA. And for a second, Jimmy thinks, okay, this is it. This is why I came. This deep artistic connection felt like the something he'd been looking for. But nope, the universe had a totally different plan. The real reason was literally just moments away. So the lecture ends, people are crowding the stage, and Jimmy's about to head for the door. But right at that moment, a friend calls him over saying, hey, I need you to meet somebody. That somebody was Dr. April Thomas. And this introduction, this was the real turning point of the whole night. You see, Dr. Thomas, who was pretty new to Savannah, was in a real bind. She was creating this amazing community resource, a literacy lab at Savannah State University, and she had this vision for a vibrant, inspiring space filled with art. The only problem? The grand opening was just a week or two away, and she had zero art. She'd hit a brick wall everywhere she turned. So let's get into section 4, Art Finds a Home, because this is the moment where it all just clicks into place. You've got two different people with two very different needs, and their paths are about to cross in the most perfect way. Jimmy doesn't even skip a beat. He tells her he has 5 large canvases just sitting in a storage unit. And just like that, 5 pieces of art that were waiting for a purpose suddenly had a home. He describes his style to her as Afrofuturism, this really cool blend of African culture, technology, and sci-fi. And Dr. Thomas was just thrilled. It was exactly the kind of dynamic, engaging art she had been imagining for the space. But it gets even better. Inspired by what the lab was all about, Jimmy also decided to donate art books and displays from his Hidden Legacy project, which is all about the history of African-American horsemen. So what started with just a gut feeling was now turning into this incredible gift for the community. And that brings us to our final section, section 5, coming full circle. Because for Jimmy, this was so much more than just finding a place for his art. Donating it to this specific lab, on this specific campus, well, it felt like his own life story was coming full circle. He realized that powerful force, that thing that was pushing him to go to the lecture, It wasn't really about meeting the famous artist on stage. His intuition had guided him there for a completely different reason, to meet Dr. April Thomas and help her bring her vision to life. And here's the absolute best part of the story. Jimmy basically grew up on the Savannah State campus. His mom worked there, his dad was a coach there, he even went to kindergarten in a building on campus. And the new literacy lab? It's in the building directly behind where his own journey began all those years ago. It was like his art was coming home. And if you need one last little piece of kismet to tie it all together, get this. Dr. Thomas later mentioned that she had also been on the fence about going to the lecture that night. Can you believe it? Two people, both tired, both following a last-minute feeling, found each other in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. This story is just such a beautiful reminder of the power of listening to those quiet internal nudges. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What amazing connections, what unexpected purposes, what incredible full circle moments might be waiting out there for us if only we decide to listen.